All right. So I assumed, and to correct me if I'm wrong, Woods, because you kind of been calling for this for a while.
Minus the kind.
Through many managers
screaming
that the Padres do not do enough standing up for their own players. When they wear it, you don't see retaliation. You don't see them going after other teams' star
player
players.
In particular.
Yeah.
But one player has worn way more than the rest.
And if not worn it, it's because of his extreme athleticism to get out of the way. He spent Fernando Tatis Jr. since he's been up has spent an inordinate amount of time on his rear end and on his back from pitches up and in to him. Not just in, up and in. And last night, make no mistake, that's anything above the waist. That's up. 95-mile-an-hour sinker hit him square in the back, and I become livid. Now
to be fair, I don't think every team is trying to send a message.
No,
to
you got to
Tatis.
move his feet.
That's how they pitch him. That's the strategy, but it results in a lot of times where Fernando Tatis wears one.
Tony Gwynn Jr. last night said on the broadcast, he certainly didn't intend to hit Toddy. I disagree fully. He would, again, I guess he would know better than me because he played in the big leagues, but I disagreed fully, especially after the comments that you heard from Manny Machado talking about, we got stars over there. If we want to hit somebody, we're going to hit stars. Hearing about the comments from Dave Roberts after the game, I figured what a perfect time to go up and in, drill Fernando Tatis Jr. square in the back, and that's exactly what they did. And I did wonder.
There was an open base at first. Later in the game when there was an open base, they intentionally walked him. So they have no problem putting him on an open base. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you. I don't know for sure that it was intentional.
Here's the thing about
they
those.
They certainly weren't worried about hitting him.
Trevino also hit him last week. And Schilt addressed that after the Ryan Schimpf-Enjoyer says he should stop crowding the plate. Bro, he's literally like the widest. He's like basically Manny now. He's up and his front leg is pointing down towards third. He's open. He's not a guy that's on top of the plate, I don't think. I don't think he crowds it. But again, you have to get guys like that out by throwing inside. You want to get in on their hands. You want them to be uncomfortable. I have no problem. And TN says, I think Tony Gwynn Jr. knows a little more about intentional versus unintentional. Fine. But again, this is my opinion. Again, based on comments from the night before. Dylan Cease hits Andy Paz in the arm pad, and Andy Paz flips out and says, F you. And Dave Roberts runs his mouth about it after the game. Mike Schilt talks about it after the game. Manny Machado talks about it after the game and says, we're not trying to hit that guy. They got real stars over there. Now they woke the sleeping.
Schilt pokes the bear when he gets caught mouthing, who the F do you think you are?
Correct. And I do feel like, if Tony says it's not intentional, okay, that's his opinion. I felt like it absolutely was. He dotted our star, right? Hit our star right in the back. So, okay, now we go to, and again, Fernando Tatis Jr., credit to him. No flip out. He got it. He knew that he was going to wear one, and he wore one, and he did it like a man, and he walked down to first base. He didn't say a word, didn't look at Trevino, nothing. That's how you take it. And he just walked down to first base. So great. Is it over? It's not over. Randy Vasquez. I don't know if he drinks beers, but I would buy him beers because I've been yelling at this team for 7 years. Protect your stars. Let them know you can't just go in and do this all the time. And Randy Vasquez plunks another star. So you got 2 stars. Leadoff hitters, both huge stars. None bigger in the world than Shohei Ohtani. I love that from Randy Vasquez. Says, here, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to go below the belt. I'm going to hit you in the leg. It's going to hurt. It's 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but it's not at your head. It's not at your back. I'm not going to hit you in the back. I'm going to hit you in the leg.
You don't have to hit the dirt.
And Ohtani took it well, too. 100%.
Took it well.
100%.
Went right down to first base. Didn't react like Andy Paz.
The game polices itself, as they've always said. But to that point, it has felt like only one side got to play cop. We were always not playing cop back. Like we would never, ever throw inside or hit anybody or whatever.
Or Toddy would get hit, and then warnings would be immediately issued.
Exactly.
So just takes the ball away from you entirely.
So, kudos to Randy Vasquez for sticking up for his teammate and doing what I think, in my opinion, needed to be done. There's still many people out there that think, that's violence. That's, okay, fine. Game's policed itself like that for 100 years.
I've always been more on that side of the equation. Like, there's really
why do you want to give a guy on base?
There's no need to go down that road. I will credit Randy Vasquez. He did not let it turn into a big inning. Freddie Freeman added a 2-out single, but got out of the jam on a fly out to Will Smith, so it didn't cost him any runs, sent a message that he has his team's back. What I question, and I still question, is does it really help your team at all? Like
it helps your
It didn't
team.
help the Padres win the game last night.
No,
now,
but I think it helps your team, and I can promise you
will it
this.
have a positive effect going forward? You expect this to galvanize the Padres and, send them in a positive direction. They've got each other's backs. Is that enough? I'm always more like, no, you just need the skill to perform on the field. Like, having each other's back is fine, but it really isn't a defining factor of whether you're a good team or a bad team.
Yeah, no question.
I don't know.
But listen, I do think, all right, answer me this honestly. You've been around locker rooms long enough to know. You've been around sports long enough to know. You guys think Randy Vasquez got a couple pats on the rear end last night? Because I know he did.
Yes.
I know he did. And you know who probably gave him the first one and the biggest one? Fernando Tatis Jr. Down in the clubhouse. Hey, Pop, thank you. Thank you for that.
I think Mike Schilt was very pleased.
100%.
And Mike Schilt,
listen to how he talked about
Mike
it.
Schilt is, and now no one admitted that he did it on purpose. Randy Vasquez said, no, just slipped.
Good. You can't say I did it on purpose. Mike Schilt, suspended.
Now listen to Mike Schilt and tell me if you think what he's saying, reading between the lines of the situation. Because he doesn't admit to anything either, but I thought it was fairly clear with his tone and his choice of words what he thought.
What did you make of the way the third inning was handled and the warnings being issued after the 2-5?
I thought it was appropriate, err on the side of caution.
Did you see any intent on either of those 5 pitches, or was that just part of it?
Things happen in baseball, guys are trying to pitch in, guys are looking to make quality pitches. Trevino got Toddy to open the game when he was the opener in the game at our place, and he got him again today. And I didn't feel real good, and just trying to make quality pitches and fight for the inner half part of the plate, and ball got away from Vasquez. So I understand that they have to do it at that point, and there wasn't any complaint from my side.
All right, so pause for a second.
Did you hear that? There wasn't any complaint from my side.
Ball got away from Vasquez is I have to say that because I don't want my guy to get suspended.
Yep,
I don't want, but when he said I have no problem with it, when he points out that, as you said, Trevino has gotten Tatis a couple of times.
Ball got away from Vasquez.
He is implying very much
Randy,
that this was what needed to happen and should have happened and was absolutely okay with it happening.
And again, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Massive credit goes to Fernando Tatis Jr. for taking 95 to the back and just walking down to first base. Massive credit goes to Shohei Ohtani for taking 94 in the knee and going, and then just walking down to first and hamming it up with Luis Ariz. Like, great job. It's over at that point. But I absolutely do agree. I had no problem with the warnings, and neither should Dave Roberts. He should have you don't even need to talk, Dave. You don't need to come out of the dugout to talk to get thrown out. There's Dave, how long you been in baseball? You knew damn well those warnings were coming. You don't need to go out there. You don't need to go out there and ice our pitcher anymore, right? Like, the warnings are coming. You're warned. Okay, great. And if his whole beef is, well, great, now we don't get to hit anybody. You already did. You got warned because of what you did, right? So there should be no reason for him to come out. None. And of course, he's got to come out. And the next thing you know, it's a big production of cats. And it's a whole big to-do. Hello, my baby. And he's pushing umpires and his hands behind his back. Performative trash. As usual from that guy. That guy sucks. I don't care where he went to high school. I don't care if his friends and family listen. He sucks. I can't stand him.
We see this every year.
Every year with this guy. Every year. Now, to his credit, he beats our ass up and down the field. I'm tired of it. I hope the players are tired of it because that crap. And then listen to him talk after the you have his audio?
Yeah.
Listen to him talk after the debacle.
Just to kind of give an overview. Andy was hit last night. I feel he overreacted. We moved on. We ended up hitting a player Tatis, unintentional.
Oh, right.
In that spot, we don't want a guy on base, certainly him bleeding into their, to their guys in the middle part of the order. And then at that point in time, Shohei comes up with the base open, and Vasquez took one shot at him.
He did.
And then
let's pause there.
So I saw the first pitch. It was looked like a two-seamer that ran in, but let's not act like Randy Vasquez threw one behind him and missed. We used to see that all the time. All right, here's my shot. Ball goes 6 feet behind him, and the batter looks out. He's like, well, there's your shot. And then they go at him again. This ball was a two-seamer running in. Ben, it didn't even come close to hitting Shohei. Not even close. The next one, he got him. So keep going.
Hit him again. And he
didn't hit him again.
Miss that bat.
He didn't hit him again. He hit him once
with the right-handed pitcher. So for me, it's, if you're going to do it, own it. And there's no misfire, right? And then I just felt that I didn't feel a warning on both sides was warranted.
Of course not.
Number one.
Because you never take accountability.
Pause again.
So I just wanted to know
clearly.
Why would you not think a warning was warranted?
Clearly, I've had a good relationship with Dave over the years, but I do find that as manager of the Dodgers, he is very hypocritical,
massively,
when it comes to. You could just hear it in what he just said.
Right.
So he said, "Hey, the Padres had an open base. At first the bases were empty when they hit Shohei Ohtani. So yeah, clearly they threw at him." You also had an open base at first. Martin Maldonado was at second. If you were ever going to hit Tatis, that's the perfect time to hit him. You've got a guy clogging the bases in front of him who's as slow as maybe anybody in Major League Baseball. You don't want to give him a chance to drive in the run or hit a 2-run home run. That's the perfect time to hit him. And you're saying, so in the exact same situation, obviously we wouldn't want to do that, but clearly the Padres do want to do that.
Right. Why would we want to put Shohei on base?
That's Dave, gaslighting.
Right? It's just gaslighting.
That's gaslighting, Dave. I mean, you can't argue the same thing on opposite sides. Our team would never do that, but of course their team did it on purpose.
It's so trashy, dude. And again, here's what it comes back to for me. It's the accountability. It's I'm going to make up a story about a guy hurling a ball at me, the sinister sling that almost killed me. And I'm going to go to Ken Rosenthal and have him write a piece in the playoffs. Listen, you want to call that gamesmanship? You want to call it whatever you want. And eventually it worked, right? It galvanized his team. It fired up his team, whatever you want to say. They also have really good players on that team. You made up a story to the media.
It was unsettling.
Yep. And you're going to get up and tell everybody, again, how you guys do it the right way.
There was intent behind it.
That's the leader of the team telling a BS lie.
That was very bothersome.
You never even saw it. He never saw it until later.
It's pretty disrespectful.
That's how scared he was. He says, I didn't see it. I saw the replay later. Well, you must have been terrified. So him getting up on his high horse again is what makes me insane. It makes me loathe him. It makes me loathe their fan base and loathe their team. They never take accountability, ever. And they preach it, but they don't take it. And they always point across the field. Buddy, your guy dotted my guy with 95 in the back. And my guy dotted your guy with 94 in the leg.
I think there's also a semantics game being played. Is there any difference in your mind between hitting a guy on purpose and throwing inside to the point where you don't really care if you hit him on purpose?
Right.
You maybe Dave can argue, hey, with the open base there, don't give him anything to hit. And if you're going to miss, make sure you miss way inside because that's the best place to miss on Tatis. The difference between that and throwing at a guy is essentially zero because the result is the same. You're throwing way inside to make sure a guy doesn't hit the ball, and then you hit him with 95-mile-an-hour sinker. That's throwing at a guy. Whether you called for it, like did you order the code red, Dave? I don't know if he ordered the code red and said, you have to go out there and hit Fernando Tatis in that situation. They were playing with wanton disregard of whether they hit Fernando Tatis Jr. in that situation. It's the same thing. It's the same result. There's an open base. You don't care, so you might as well just throw way inside. And if you hit him, you hit him. why are the Padres supposed to? Well, that's be respectful for that. The response to that is, yeah, you're going to throw inside to Shohei Ohtani. He doesn't hit his. Hey, we don't want him to hit a solo home run here. He does that a lot. You know, it's a close game. It's a tie game in that situation. We're going to pitch him so far inside that, you know, either, you know, he's going to dodge it or he's going to wear one. You know, is that the code red or is that not the code red? I mean, we'll never know for sure.
And again, man, it's the warnings were issued. You knew damn well they were coming. And you had to come out and make a big deal out of it. You had to come out on your unicycle and your balls and your clown nose and no, look at me, guys, look at me. I need an explanation. You know the explanation. Your guy hit my guy hit your guy. It's over.